Yo guys, it's Talon. So today I'm going to show you and just talk to you about how I got top 9 on the server this season, and I've been top 10 on the server 4 seasons in a row. So this season the highest I hit is top 9. Last season rank 9 is also what I hit. Season before that rank 6, and season before that rank 5. So I want to talk to you guys about how I'm so consistently able to get to the top 10 on the leaderboards. And so we're going to go over a gameplay as I'm just kind of talking about basically what I did to help me climb. So let's get right into that. Okay guys, so this gameplay is mostly going to be a background gameplay as I talk about really what allowed me to climb to the top 10 on the server 4 seasons in a row. So I've made previous videos, the other times that I've hit top 10, the other times I've hit sovereign, whatever, that I talk about a lot of different things, and my channel as a whole is based around climbing, and so I pretty much have given you guys all of the information you need. I mean, if you go and watch my everything you need to know about Wild Rift video, which is about a 2-hour long video in my evergreen videos playlist that you could find that literally talks about every part of Wild Rift, all of these aspects of Wild Rift are extremely important, and this video is going to be a little bit less structured compared to some of the previous videos that I've talked about these types of things, and I just want to more so kind of talk to you guys about what you really need to do to climb really high on the server, or just in general to even just reach your new rank, whatever your goal is. So when it comes to being able to reach, like one of these higher ranks on the server, mental is 100% like the #1 thing above anything else that has allowed me to do this. Like, I see plenty of players who are similarly skilled to me, as good as me, stuff like this, even sometimes better than me, and they're not able to climb quite as effectively. And there's a lot of reasons for this that I've kind of noticed and I've learned just over like time, right? And so one of the main things is spamming games. So this season, I have played the least amount of ranked games I've ever played in the last year. All of the previous year, like times, I'd be right around 55% win rate. And by the time the season would end, I'd have like 1,000 games. It wouldn't take me 1,000 games to get sovereign. It'd usually take me like 500, 600 games to get sovereign. This season, it took me 490 games to get sovereign. And I think I've played around 600 maybe total. And I have a 58.2% win rate this season. So much higher than before. And even in the season, I've played plenty of solo queue. I've probably played half solo queue, half duo queue, and been able to do that. Next season, I plan to do fully solo queue road to sovereign to show you guys that journey and kind of help you guys understand how you can climb fully solo queue. So that's going to be sort of like the series we'll have next season. But regardless, really what I want to talk about is like that mental, like understanding, you can't control a lot of different factors in the game. It's a team game with a, maybe not ideal matchmaking system. And so really the biggest thing for me this season is I've won so many unwinnable games that looked really, really hard and had just crazy comebacks. So like a lot of times because of my good mental, I'll go on the opposite side of the map, like second dragon, go opposite side of the map, 30 seconds, 60 seconds before the dragon spawns, set up around there, make a big comeback play there if I'm the jungler, or even if I'm the mid or anything like that. Just understanding kind of these certain comeback timers has helped me a lot rather than tilting, the second the game goes bad. So that's definitely one big thing. Mental, never giving up, muting my teammates as well. I turn on party chat so that I don't see what they're going to say. That's definitely been a really big thing. And then again, the not spamming games thing. So you need to play enough games to climb. You can't play 100 games a season and reach your peak rank. It's just not going to work. You do have to play a decent amount, and you don't have to play as much as me, but, obviously, if you're going to try to get top 10 on the server, you probably have to play a lot. And so I played, about, I would say, an average of 8 to 10 games a day, because I have 600 games, and, it's been about 75 days of the season, so that's, going to be, like, roughly, like, 9 average. So that's about how much I've been playing a day. Not an unreasonable amount. Takes, like, 3 to 5 hours a day, which is, obviously a lot, certainly, and some people can't do that. But it's also not like I'm spamming for 20 hours a day. I had a 2,300 game player on my team earlier who was still master. So, I'm not doing that. That would be pretty crazy. So I definitely find that I sometimes play worse in seasons where I spammed more. So my lowest win rate season of the last 4 seasons, because again, 2 seasons were 55, this season 58, and then 1 season was 53. And that 53% season, I spammed way more games than before. And that 53% season was my lowest marks of any of these seasons, apart from the current season I'm in. But this season's not over, so that's a little different. That's probably why, right? I imagine I'll probably pass that as well this season, most likely. So that is an important thing to keep in mind as well. Like, when you end up spamming a bunch in a bunch of games, sometimes you just play on autopilot and you're not really able to focus that well. So a lot of people, they just spam the games, they don't really climb. Other people, they don't play enough and then they don't climb. For me, I found a good balance. That's definitely one of the main things that helped with me. So mental, finding a good balance of games. And then the next thing is really understanding how to not autopilot. I'll coach a lot of people. I've probably coached over 200 people, and I'll always see people really autopiloting when it comes to their games. They know what they should be doing. They watch back the replay and they're thinking to themselves, what was I doing? But in the moment, they weren't asking themselves the right questions or understanding really what they needed to do to kind of win the game. And so if you're struggling with autopilot a lot, where you feel like you're just like going through the motions, one of the reasons may be because you're spamming games. Another reason may be because you're not focusing on the right things during the game. So you really need to ask yourself or understand the key timers and the key questions to ask and when to ask them. So for example, in the early game as a laner, I will ask myself, what is the lane matchup like? Where's the enemy jungle going to path? And how do I want to play the first 3 or 4 levels of the lane based on that? For example, if I'm into a Poppy and I expect the enemy jungle to most likely path the other way around, I'm probably going to be super aggressive if my jungle is pathing towards me to try to get a big trade, set up a dive, and then be able to have a potential first blood on a gank, which ended up happening in this game if you guys saw. So just planning out these first couple levels, or if you're the jungler, planning out your pathing early, these types of things matter. Then when it comes to the later parts of the game, I'm going to be thinking about objectives. So about 30 to 60 seconds before the first dragon, which spawns in 5 minutes, I need to ask myself, what do I want to do around this dragon? Do I want to go dragon? Do I want to go herald? Do I want to rotate with my team? Do I want to keep my lane pushed? Am I just going to chill and try to farm and scale? You know, what am I going to do? Understanding that goal. And then the next major shift is once Baron spawns. Now that Baron is spawned, how am I going to react? If I'm a Baron laner, I'm going to go on the opposite side of the Baron, split push that lane out, and then rotate so that my team is able to get the Baron. Or maybe I want to stay on the side lane to draw pressure. Or if I'm a jungler, I need to, you know, maybe give up some of my farm on the other side so that the enemy don't randomly sneak a Baron at 12 minutes until I have vision. And then once I have vision, I can go and farm the other side. Understanding these different timers, asking yourself those important questions. What point in the game am I at? What's the important thing at this point in the game that we need to keep track of? How do my matchups go? Jungle pathing, all these types of things. Rather than trying to think of everything and just kind of reacting, you ask yourself these specific questions which matter the most. You know, they matter more than other things. And then another thing I understand better than I would say even a lot of players who are better than me is win conditions as a whole and understanding the whole game. So if you guys don't know, I've been Challenger on every role back when Challenger was the highest rank in the game. I hit rank 5, rank 6, and rank 9, all playing autofill. This season I didn't play autofill, but the other 3 seasons that I'm talking about, I played autofill. And so I understand every role, every type of champion, all of these things extremely well, because I've played assassins, AD carries, you know, hyper carries, mages, tanks, bruisers. I've climbed on everything pretty much. And I understand how to climb on all of these different things, and I understand how they work. And so because I understand how they work, I understand win conditions extremely well. Basically what a win condition is the actual way that the game is going to end. Like, is the game going to end by your Vayne Lulu carrying the game because everyone else on your team is really weak? Is the game going to end by you just simply outscaling the enemy because you're only down 1k gold and your team is just a lot stronger late game? Is the game going to end by you snowballing because you maybe have a Lee Sin and a lot of early aggressive laners who need to win the early game, or else you're probably not going to win the game? Is the game going to win through me poking? Is it going to win through me, you know, winning one big engage or getting one big engage on their carry? Understanding these different types of things. And so that's another question you have to ask yourself while you're playing the game. And if you understand that, then you're going to win a lot of games you thought you couldn't win. Because even if everything is going awfully, if you have that one win condition and you index properly into that, a lot of times the enemy are going to throw when they realize, like, they don't realize quick enough, you know, what you were doing, or that you had this one avenue to come back in a game. So these types of things, asking yourself the proper questions. For example, even you can see on your screen right now, I'm currently top side rather than going to the bottom side of the map. And the reason for that is because Warwick is not the strongest champion later on in the game, and I'd already pushed out my bottom lane. So I used the fact that my lane was already pushed to go and rotate and help my team and make plays on that side of the map. And in this specific instance, it's not like it was anything special, didn't really work out. But in some of the other rotations we were making, because this is not the, you know, first time in the game that I was rotating, we got some major leads off of that. And so understanding that type of thing, being able to see the game more holistically, is really important as well. And so again, this is less structured than my normal videos that when I talk about climbing, where I talk about really specific points. I just wanted to mention some of the main things that help me climb. Again, mental, definitely one of the major things, probably the most important thing above anything else. Investing the proper amount of time, you know, not wasting too much time, you know, spamming the game, but also playing the game enough to definitely climb, and not, you know, just playing no games. Finding that balance for yourself is really important. all of those types of things, then understanding the different champions, different roles, and the questions to kind of ask yourself in the game. Just make sure that you're not autopiloting too frequently. And keep in mind, I've done all of this while streaming and reading 2 chats at the same time. I stream on YouTube and Twitch every day, and I'm always reading pretty much every message that's sent in the chat as I'm playing these games, so I'm not even playing, frankly, with 100% focus. Half the time I am reading chat or other things, but I'm able to focus still really well because I have these specific questions to ask myself. And so if I'm able to ask myself these questions, I don't even have to put 100% brain power into it because I have, you know, again, this kind of checklist that I have to go through in my mind. And as long as I'm doing those things, I can respond to a random guy in chat telling me that his teammates are hinting him, hey, Talon, how do you help me? My teammates always suck. Riot Games matchmaking is losing me all my games. I'm stuck in several silver 2. Those types of questions. Or, Talon, how's the newest champion in Wild Rift? So anyways, this kind of just turned into me rambling about chatters asking me random questions, which is fine. I hope you guys come and ask me random questions as well. But that's pretty much all for the video. Again, I just woke up from a nap as well, kind of tired, and I'm kind of just saying words at this point because, you know, I've been making YouTube videos for a while now, so sometimes I just randomly ramble and say random things. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of the video. Again, top 10 on the server 3 or 4 seasons in a row, so basically for a year straight, I've been top 10 on the server. Obviously, I'm not top 10 for all 3 months of the season straight, but I've always hit it, and I've hit it being sovereign. Like, I've hit it later in the season when everyone's pushed and climbed and whatever, and I've done it mostly just solo and duo almost exclusively. Next season we'll do solo queue again to prove to you guys that I will be going to Europe in the middle of the season, but when I am in America, which I will be still for a majority of the season, we'll be doing that. So yeah, again, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.